Greetings from Houston, Texas. Today is September 2nd, 2013. It's Labor Day, but it's also VJ Day. 68 years ago, the Japanese signed their surrender aboard the USS Missouri. My name is Domingo Marquez. I'm a Korean War veteran. I served in Cold Bay, Alaska, in the Aleutian chain during the Korean War. I was a GCA operator. When war came to our country in the early 40s, a war we did not want, a war we did not start, millions and millions of men and women in the United States left their homes and their families to serve our country against the Axis powers, Germany and Japan. Among those that went were about 400,000, it'll vary depending on the source that you get it from, Mexican Americans, and 17,000 people born in Mexico, Mexico citizens, went off to fight World War II. They came from all walks of life, from mechanics to engineers to tailors, farmhands, citizens, non-citizens. They all coalesced for one common purpose: to defeat the Axis powers. They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. I want to show you a picture of a Hispanic family where all the sons went into the service. One of those was my uncle. He was married to my aunt, who was, if not the first, one of the first WACs to serve in World War II. And I talk about them because I am a Mexican American. 44 Medal of Honors were issued to Hispanic Americans. 13 of those were awarded in World War II. And one of them is Macario Garcia. This photo shows President Truman pinning the wall on Sergeant Macario Garcia in 1945. And reportedly the president said, "I would like one of these." I want to talk about one more individual in World War II, and that was Lieutenant Perdomo. Lieutenant Perdomo, Oscar Francis Perdomo, was born in El Paso, Texas, of Mexican parents. And he was the last ace in the day in World War II. For action in North Korea, the day before the Japanese signed the surrender papers, he shot down 5 Japanese planes. Thus, he became the last ace in a day in World War II. Let's fast forward to Korea. I served in the Korean War. Several thousands of Hispanics served in Korea, and they were awarded 3 Medals of Honor. They were Corporal Rodolfo Hernandez, Corporal Benito Martinez, and Sergeant Joseph C. Rodriguez, who I had the honor of meeting in person. So we'll fast forward to Vietnam. In Vietnam, there were 14 Medals of Honor issued to Hispanics. And the time will not permit me to talk about each and every one of them, but I would want to mention 2. One of them is Master Sergeant Roy P. Benavides, who was in Special Forces, and he wrote this book, The Last Medal of Honor. Of course, at that time, his was the last Medal of Honor, but we know that the last Medal of Honor in Vietnam was issued to Sergeant Rascon. And the other person that I wanted to mention Alfredo Gonzalez, Freddie Gonzalez. Freddie Gonzalez was from Edinburgh, Texas, and he received his Medal of Honor for action during the Tet Offensive in 1968. He also had a destroyer named after him, the USS Gonzalez, and I went to the commissioning of that ship at Ingleside, Texas in 1996. We can't leave Vietnam without mentioning the saga of Lieutenant Everett Alvarez Jr., who was the first American pilot to be shot down in Vietnam. And he spent 8 years in captivity, making him the second longest POW in American history. He was the grandson of Mexican immigrants, and he was born in Salinas, California. He was a Navy commander who has since retired from the Navy and is now working in the civilian force. To sum up, I would like to restate that Hispanics served in every theater during World War II. My family served in Europe during the invasion of D-Day, served in the Pacific, the liberation of the Philippines. They served in Vietnam, Korea. I've had cousins that were wounded in Korea, cousins that were wounded during the Tet Offensive. And even today, I have 2 grandchildren in the military. One is a JAG in the Navy, United States Navy, and the other one is a staff sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. So there can be no doubt that Hispanics have served this country honorably, courageously, and without a doubt have contributed to the freedom of this great country of ours.